Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Football Manager, and we are continuing our run with Barcelona here in the Spanish First Division, and today is the end-of-season review and the transfer special for going into next season. I don't expect a lot in the transfer special. I think we only need a couple players, and we don't have that much money, to be fair, and we don't have a lot of players to sell to get more money, so it's going to be a very targeted transfer special, but we don't need to get that much better. Just a couple more goals in a couple games, and we would have won the league. Even though I kind of think we should have won it anyway, right? Am I right? So anyway, let's get into the end of season review right now. All right, here we are, end of season review for the 2035-36 season. We did the double. We got the Spanish Cup. Awesome. That was a big one. And, of course, we did get the Spanish Super Cup. Not a big deal. Still kind of cool. But let's get into the new arrivals. We had a lot of new arrivals, guys. Oh, you know what? That's actually what lays the foundation for this next transfer window to not need to be that big. That's what makes it okay. Because we got a lot of arrivals, and we got some good arrivals. Rapun, 7.67 average rating, 29 goals, 12 assists. I mean, we paid a lot of money for him, but the board is delighted to have him. Apparently, they're okay with the fee and the wage being good value for him. So I paid a lot of money for him, but they're okay with it. And they're happy that he has got a minimum release clause of 400 million euros. That could field an entire team and a half. But yeah, it would never be triggered. There's no way. We got Carrasco, A+ there as well. Really, really good rating from him. We're going to see some more good stuff from him. 27 years old. We got some more time out of him going forward. Lamptey comes in here. Why does it say Barcelona B? Oh, these guys initially went to the Barcelona B team and came up from there. Obviously, that's not where these guys came from. It's a little weird that that's kind of how it's showing, but that's obviously not accurate. Lamptey coming in here. Honestly, 12.75 mil for a guy that played really, really well for us, 7.5 rating. I don't know how much more time we'll have with him. We'll play him as much as we can. If worse comes to worse, maybe he's could be a good backup for us. We'll see. Ferreira comes in here, 22 years old. Ferreira. He did not play a lot of games. He's more of a player as a good, solid backup, a player for the future type of thing. But when he came in, he played well, and I'm pretty happy with that as well. Stevanovic did not play that much, hardly at all. 4 starting appearances, 9 substitute appearances. But when he came in, again, another guy that just did what needed to get done. Came in on a free. This is not one of my transfers, but we'll take credit for it. Crescentini, not the greatest, overall. Apparently they didn't like the loan fee, but he served a purpose. He played 15 total times for us. He served a very strong purpose for us. Oliveras, this guy is incredible. Well worth the 50 mil. Well worth the 50 mil, in my opinion. And we're hopefully going to get a whole lot more out of him. Xenopoulos, they're not super... I mean, they're not like... It's not bad, but they're not crazy happy about him. I'm pretty happy with the work he did. He played a lot for us, actually. We're going to hopefully get a lot of stuff out of him next season as well. Garcia, so yeah, another good one. I mean, 48 total appearances, 18 goals, 13 assists. Really strong player as well. Talbot, not a good player necessarily. I mean, we played almost a mil for the fee, which is what they're most unhappy about. But again, there was a purpose behind him being there, and he served that purpose. I can't be too upset with it personally. I think it was still ultimately a good move. Would I have rather had a better player than that? Sure. Just wasn't an option though, and there was no way we could have got another player in here to play as a substitute on a 7.23 rating for less than there's just no way. I think it was well worth it. Donnarumma, I was gonna say, if this is not an A+, I'm gonna be beside myself. 56 appearances from him, just outstanding effort from him, and hopefully he can stay healthy and be another player for again next year. And then Flanio, they're okay with this transfer. I mean, he's gonna be a good backup in case something happens to Donnarumma, but he's definitely not a starting player for an entire season, in my opinion. So, but still, not too bad. Transfers out. Anything here that was bad? They're not super happy with the Atletico Madrid. He got 27 goals. I mean, he performed. He performed, and that would have been a good player to keep around, to be fair. I think I'm still pretty happy with the Rapun pickup and some of the other ones, but yeah, I could see that one being one we would have liked to have kept. Anybody here that's just atrociously bad? Not really. I mean, they're mostly okay with most of those. Here's our loanies out. Uriart's apparently not super happy with that one. Apparently, the fact that I didn't get any loan fees for these guys, honestly, I just needed to get some development. Maybe I can be a little bit more intentional about getting loan fees for them going forward, but I'm not too worried about that, to be perfectly honest. What we would have got, like $1 million, like that. I mean, we would not have gotten much for them. I still don't know why this font is messing up here, but that's okay. But we got winner of the Spanish Cup, obviously. 95% average attendance, B- from the board. They're relatively happy with us. I guess that was just the Spanish Cup one. I don't know why I was tabbed over to that initially. But obviously, very easy run. Nobody here was worth anything until we got to Atletico Madrid. I'll take it. You know, it's okay to have an easy run in one of these leagues every once in a while. There's the Spanish Super Cup. Obviously, we did get past both of the Madrids, I should say, Atletico and Real. Not a big deal. Who cares? But it was what it was. They're actually relatively happy with the Champions Cup, making it all the way to the semifinals. Losing to PSG, who probably will go on and win the whole thing if you had to ask me. But we'll see. Actually, it's interesting that we actually did way better against them earlier in the group stage. But maybe they just weren't playing as strongly because they knew that they could. They were already had it set. It's very likely they played backups in this game or something like that. It would have been nice, and I think we still had a chance to beat them. I mean, it wasn't like it was that far off. It was a close game, but just wasn't important. It really wasn't that important. And there you go. There's the season. We're not going to talk about the games that still bother me to this day, but we'll just have to learn to forget them next year. But overall, really, really solid season, and I think we can do even better next year. Moments to remember. Biggest win was against Levante here, a 9-0 win there. Our match to remember was a 6-1 stomping of Atletico Madrid, a game that Rapun got a hat-trick in. Goal of the season was a top drawer goal from Illich. Looks like the 73rd minute, but I guess we'll go ahead and watch these because why not? Here's goal number 1. Kukulis to Garcia, over to Castro. Castro to Rapun. Boom. Easy goal. Made it look real easy. Obviously, we know that one counted. Corner kick coming in. There's Delight. Really good goal there as well. Here's Castro with the ball. Across to Tasley. Fadi, just easy goal for him as well. Oh, man, all these looked really easy so far. Carrasco back to Kukulis. Carrasco with the ball. Back to Kukulis. Over to Illich. Illich. Just... oh, there we go. That wasn't the goal, was it? No. It's this next one, wasn't it? Maybe that was the goal. It said top drawer. Just top drawer means something besides. I assumed it was going to be like a kick at the top. No, I guess that was the goal. I mean, that was a long goal for sure. Maybe top drawer just means like a really good goal. You know, something like that. Still, not bad. Not bad. Good stuff overall. I said it was going to be the last goal. I didn't see that there was an 83rd one there. The finances. Nothing changed really with our reputation. No new sponsors really. A little bit less, actually quite a bit less broadcast revenue, which is unfortunate to see. Corporate hospitality went up a little bit. Competition prize money went down a little bit. Match day commercial went up a little bit. Fadi, Rapun, Baldwin, Garcia, and Illich. Whew, that is a good group right there. That is a really good group. Here's how we wound up. Donnarumma in goal, Lamptey on the left, Castro on the right, Oliveras and Delight in the middle with Kukulis ahead of them. Looking pretty good. Carrasco, Illich in the midfield. Garcia as our shadow striker, and Rapun and Fadi. Yeah, no, that is our team. That is our team. The accolades. I got Division Manager of the Month for September, November, March, April. So 4 months in a row. Or not in a row. 4 months total, I should say, out of all of this. Not too bad. Fans Player of the Season was Delight. I'm a little surprised by that. I mean, I'm not against it. I was expecting any of the other guys to have gotten that one, but no, that's fair. Young Player of the Season was Oliveras. Signing of the season was Rapun. I still can't believe that they're calling that signing of the season. I like him. I know I spent a lot of money on him. He's an incredible player. I'm glad everybody else is liking it as well. Goal of the season from Illich. Top goal scorer was Fati with 49 goals. He's only 33. I thought he was 35. I don't know why I thought he was 35. 33. No, we could probably get a couple more years out of him. There's a good chance he's going to be around for a couple more years at least. Most assists from Carrasco, 22 assists. That's a lot of assists. Most player of the match awards, 10 from Fadi. Average rating, 7.8 for Fadi. Most passes completed from Kukulis, 72 in 60 minutes. That's a lot of passes. Competition awards, Spanish First Division. Top goal scorer was Fadi. Top Spanish goal scorer was Fadi. Okay, fair enough. Best player in Europe was Foddy. European Golden Shoe was Foddy. Gold 50 was Foddy. World Golden Ball was Foddy. World Footballer of the Year was Foddy. World Player of the Year. Spanish First Division top goal scorer. Spanish First Division top Spanish goal scorer. Did I already see that one? Did I do that twice? Wait, how did he... Did he win it twice, or was I just looking at something weird? Spanish League Player of the Year was Delight. Spanish League Young Player of the Year actually was Yusuf. Absolutely was. World Footballer of the Year was Oliveras. European Golden Boy was Oliveras. Spanish League Young Player of the Year was Oliveras. World Golden Glove was Donnarumma. Goalkeeper of the Year, Donnarumma. Spanish First Division Goalkeeper of the Donnarumma. I mean, we had awards all over the place. The only player here that we're going to lose is Delight. Everybody else should be sticking around. Most assists by player and assists was what season was Carrasco. That's a new record. Worst discipline. We had a lot of yellow cards. I don't think we had a single red card the entire season, but we did have a lot of yellow cards. And most of the league appearances by a player. 561 appearances. Not bad. All right. History in the making. Your hard work and effort paid off on the pitch, and such a feat didn't go unrewarded at our end of season awards ceremony. Picking up a very, very important Spanish Cup win there. All right. Anything else? Highest points total without winning title. That is not the award that you want. New average attendance. Nice. A little bit higher. New average rating. 7.88. Insane. Overall best 11. So we've got Kumbala gets added to the best 11 as a backup. Is that it? Okay. I think we'll have some others getting in here this next season for sure. We already saw the review. Where are they now? We don't care. Goal output. Up here. High quality shooting. Strong defending. Yeah, for sure. Team attacking. Again, passes completes. The one Achilles heel in any of my tactics is the passes completion ratio. Everything else is looking really good. Scoring. I mean, we're just... Look at the pack. Look at us. I mean, Madrid's the closest to us, but like, we're so good. I hope we can carry that into next year. Defending, I mean, could be better in some places. Overall general performance, again, passing completion and tackles 1. Those are my two bad spots in everything, any group I've ever had. Club of division and expectations, they want us to be qualify for European Champions Cup for sure. Become the most reputable team in Spain, that makes sense. Reach the semifinal of the Champions Cup, okay? And they want us to win the first division in the 2037-2038 season. Well, I definitely want to win it next year personally, but I'm okay with accepting this. Anything else up here that we care about? Tagging possession? No, I think we're okay with all that. Squad dynamics, good dressing room, good managerial. We'll do the team meeting. Why not? Discuss plans for next season. No, I got the title on my sights, and I think they agree, and they do. We'll just say later stages. Really? Okay, fair enough. I'm okay with that. We'll discuss promises next year. Yeah, I'm okay with that. All right, cool. Not a bad. I mean, it could have been a little bit better, but I was trying to hedge my bets a little bit there on the Champions Cup. They're on break. Anything else we need to look at here before I jump into the transfer stuff? Player of the Year. Congratulations, Delight. Don't get me wrong. It would be kind of nice to have you back, but 36 years old, I'm not going to cry about you leaving, moving on. Goalkeeper of the Year. Oh, I did not get Manager of the Year. That's okay. I mean, we didn't win, to be fair, so it makes sense, I suppose. We got this entire right-hand side. Not bad. I mean, they had a good team. We had a good team too, though. All right, well, that's going to be it for now. Like I said, I'm going to get right into the transfers. We got one guy coming in already, right? So we'll start looking at this. I'll start digging around. We might change the formation depending on who we get. But I'll let you know when I know something. All right, I am back. It's a new shirt. It's a new day. It's actually a new week because it's been that long since I recorded the first half of this episode. I recorded that first half. Then I went away and did all the Spanish games. As you guys know the results of that. But then I had to come back and finish up these. So we, as you can see, we are the odds-on favorites for winning the entire league. So how did we get here? Let's go look at the transfers. We're actually going to go back to the end of last season. This is it right here. So end of last season is when all this started. Now, don't worry too much about the right-hand side. All you need to point out here, I'm not even going to move my camera out of the way because it's irrelevant. Kumbala, Delight, and Trey are all left on freeze. They just left at end of contracts. 100% fine with that. They weren't really wanting to sign anyway. They were getting kind of old. Whatever. It's fine. I mean, it would have been kind of nice to keep a couple of these guys, but I think we're going to be okay without them, especially with the guys we brought in. So then our guys coming in started on July 1st. First, we get this guy named Moha. He comes in on a free. He's just a 17-year-old kid that has a lot of potential. A lot of potential. He's a little bit fickle on his personality, which might be a little bit bad, but he's definitely a promising striker. He's at least media friendly, but we'll see. If he turns into something, awesome. If not, we got him for free. So I'm not too worried about him. Just another guy to see for the future. Then we brought in our first real transfer. Ben Wood from Burnley, coming in for 38 million euros up front, going up to 48 million. He comes in here as a solid defensive midfielder who's actually primarily a defensive midfielder. A lot of our other defensive midfielders from last season were either a central defender that was playing defensive midfielder or a midfielder in the case of Illich, who was moving back to that defensive midfielder role. This guy is a pure defensive midfielder. I mean, he can play midfield, don't get me wrong, but his primary thing is defensive midfield, and I think that's going to be good for us. Overall, 4-star current ability, could still get a little bit better. He's only 25 years old, so he's not even necessarily in his prime. And overall stats, I mean, he's been getting 7+s for the last several seasons in the Premier League in England. Now, they bought him from 9 million a couple years ago, and we paid 38 million for him. But I think, given the stats and given where he's at, I think he's going to be a good pickup for us. We shall see. We then get Paul Tully here for 46.5 million euros up front, going up to, what was it, 54? 70, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong one. 70 million euros. So, a bit of extras thrown in there. That a lot of times with the extras, by the way, if I haven't talked about it before, are, I think at least one of these I went through with you guys. But anyway, a lot of times the extras are like things like if they go do international play, or if they play 50 games, or if we win the championship, things like that, that if those things happen, they're probably good enough to pay that extra money for. So he comes in here. He's only 2.5-star current ability, but he could go as high as 4-star. He's fairly ambitious, level-headed. We'll see if that works out for us. But overall, not quite exactly 7.0s in Germany, but I mean, he's had a couple 7.0s and a couple just below 7.0s, but I think he's within range that he should be a good one for us, especially since he has some development ahead of him. We shall see. So, Paul Tully, maybe potentially a bit overpaid. If he turns out to be good, I think I'm well happy with paying 70 mil for him. But we don't know. I mean, he's got some development ahead of him. We'll see what happens. We then brought in Leandro Crescentini here. He's another youngster, I believe, or relatively youngster. He's 21 years old, so still not in his prime. He just comes in here as a future player. He's playing for where is he? He's actually listed as Barcelona, but I think he's playing for our Barcelona B team right now. Oh, he's out on loan. That's what it is. So we brought him in. He just popped up on the radar as a guy that has some promise. That we only had to pay like a couple mil for. Was it 4 mil, I think? Yeah, 4 to going up to 4.8. Cool. Somebody for the future. We'll see what happens. So that's only 2 actual players for our starting players, though. Paul Wood and Tully. So what about this season? Only 2 more. We didn't need a lot, guys. We didn't need a lot. We really needed to shore up the defense and the midfield. And that's exactly what we did. I've already showed you guys a defensive midfielder. I've already showed you guys a central center back. And now we have another midfielder as well as another center back. So we have Gravenberch coming in here. Now, these 2 guys are not guys for the future. Gravenberch, I mean, he's a real player. You guys probably know more about who Gravenberch is than I do. He comes in here as a just 4-star player. He's 34 years old, so maybe we can get a year or 2 out of him. He's obviously got the experience. He's got whatever. He's going to be a good player for us just for this season. We'll see what he can do. I mean, I'm going to have to look at his stats. I mean, this guy is an elite level player, and has been for quite some time. So if we get some good stuff from him, that's all we need, right? He can play midfielder. He can technically play attacking midfielder, but we're going to be playing him primarily as our midfielder to kind of take one of those spots that Who do we lose there? One of the guys that we lost there, or he's just coming in as just a better player. I can't remember. But yeah, overall, should be a solid player. Again, if we just get a year or two out of him, I will be happy with that. Did not pay a ton for him. Maybe overpaid for someone who's 34 years old. But truth be told, we'd have had to pay double this amount, if not more, to get a player of this caliber that's younger. So did we overpay for the future of this club? Maybe. Did we overpay for what I want to accomplish this season? I don't think so. I think he's well worth it. We then get in here Jurrien Timber from Chelsea, 14 mil up front, going up to 15 mil. Another guy who's 35 years old. Obviously a real player. You guys probably know who he is, or at least maybe have heard of him. He can play a center back. He can play on the right. He can play technically a little bit pushed up. He can play defensive midfielder. He can play midfielder. He can actually technically play on the left. So he can play all over. Primarily, we're going to be playing him as a center back. He's going to be taking the place of Delight, who we lost, obviously. So Oliveris and this guy are going to be taking up our primary starting spots. But overall, I mean, another player who obviously has a proven record. I mean, we don't even have to go too much further into this. I think it's kind of funny that both these guys that I just picked up came from Ajax. But yeah, so proven record, obviously a good player. We actually paid quite a bit less for him. So I think it's a pretty good deal overall. And again, the board's not super happy with me for only buying a couple older players and only getting a couple younger players to fill in the gaps. We didn't get a lot of players, but we'll look at our team in just a second. But I think overall our team is in a good place. The only people that went out that are not out on loan, that also didn't go out on a free, are Cho and Stevanovic. Neither of them were going to fit into our team. I set out the team. I did all of the depth. I looked at the depth and stuff like that and was about to go register and realized I had to drop a couple players from registration. And Cho and Stevanovic were the people that just made the most sense. So Cho's gone. Stevanovic is gone. We got a little bit of money for both of them. Cool. That'll help us out. Overall in finances, we actually have quite a bit of money left over. Now, this is after moving some stuff around, plus kind of finagling the bonuses a little bit. I left the bonuses for the league where they are at, that's standard bonuses. And then I dropped the bonuses for the competitions a little bit because I don't care about those personally. And, you know, I'm fine with getting a little bit of extra money. So we were at like 20 mil, I think, with the Cho and the Stevanovic, and then with a little bit of extra left over. And this obviously bumps us up a little bit. We got a little bit of money in the wage budget, so obviously I can move that around as well. If we need a little bit more, we can obviously go up to about 55, it looks like, if we absolutely needed to. What I'm probably going to do is, because I'm pretty happy with the team as it is, and obviously we're already still the odds favorites, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see if either somebody doesn't perform well or somebody gets injured or whatever. I don't usually have money in the January transfer window to be able to do some kind of impact changes at that point in time to kind of carry us through the end of the season. I think I'm going to wait and do that this time. I'm going to see where we need some filling, either again through injuries or performance issues, and plan to potentially get us a strong player or two in the January transfer window to just get us to the end of the season and get us over the edge there. So we'll see. But again, registration's already just full, so there's really no point in bringing anybody else in here right now. I mean, I could drop a couple players, but I'm pretty happy with our starters, and I don't think we're going to get an amazing player this late in the game. So let's go look at the squad. We'll look at the squad depth. Now, again, as usual, as I've said multiple times over, a lot of these players can play in multiple spots, so don't judge where I have them currently as their permanent, like that's how they're always going to play. I might move some people around based on, you know, how I feel. But I at least wanted to have, like I always do, have two players in every spot that can play in every spot. And then for the spots that have doubles, so strikers, I went ahead and threw an extra there. For the midfielders, I made sure we had an extra there. And the center backs, I made sure we had an extra there. So that's where those are, and that's our 23 players. Done. So Fati, Baudouin, and Rapoon are our three main strikers for sure. They're going to get a lot of rotation. Obviously, Ferreira and Fenolahi will get some rotation as well, but primarily these three are going to be our three main guys. And so expect to see a lot from them. Garcia is our main attacking midfielder with Yusuf as a backup, most likely. But again, other guys could rotate in as needed. Carrasco and Gravenberch are our primary two midfielders. That actually puts Illich down to a backup role. But obviously, he's going to be a good backup. I mean, he's getting older. I want to make sure. I mean, not that Gravenberch isn't old also. In fact, Gravenberch might actually be older. Let's see here. Gravenberch is a year younger, but between the two of them, I can't imagine they're going to be able to play the entire season. So we're probably going to get a lot of good rotation from Illich as well. So primarily, these are our three starters. Just depends on who I feel like playing at any given point in time. Starting off this first game, it'll be these two guys up at the top with Xenopoulos and Yilmaz, rotating in as needed. We definitely want to get Yilmaz some development. He's got a lot of future ahead of him, but we'll see what happens there. Ben Wood obviously coming in as our strong defensive midfielder. Kuklis, actually, I think Kuklis is actually a defensive. No, he's just an elite midfielder. What does he prefer? Just out of curiosity. He can actually play either. We'll probably play him primarily as defensive midfielder, but again, could rotate. We could play Illich back here, whatever we feel like at any given time. And then across the back, we got Tasley or Lamptey. Could both play defender on the left. Kind of really how I feel. I just have it set up like this just so I know that I have somebody that can play on the right, but there's a good chance that Lamptey goes in front of Tasley from time to time. And then, of course, Oliveras and Timber. Now our defense, our center defense for sure is probably still our weakest link. I mean, everything else is like 4 stars or higher. Left backs, I'm not usually too worried about them being, if they're 4 stars or not. If we get a good 4-star left or right back, that's like icing on the cake. 3-star, I'm usually pretty happy with 3 stars most of the time, but really want our center, our foundation, to have at least 1 or 2 3.5 4-star players. We'll see. Oliveras is still a wonder kid, or is he listed as a wonder kid, or is he? Yeah, he's still listed as a wonder kid. So he obviously could still develop into that 3.5 4-star player. And then Timber here has the experience, so I think we're still going to be okay, even though they're not rating that high. I think a lot of the rating is coming from the fact that some of these other guys, I just realized we weren't playing with our best rating person. Some of these other guys are just rating really high, and he's pushing these guys a little bit lower. But I'm still pretty happy. Tully, Brunick, Ivan can come in there as backups. Brunick's still not very happy with me at the moment, but it is what it is. And, of course, Castro, Lamptey on the right. And, of course, Donnarumma, still our starting goalkeeper. Flangel's not super happy with us because he wants to be starting. Try to keep him happy for as long as we can because we might need him. But we shall see. Anything else? Real quick, tactics. Basically the same tactic. I made a small adjustment. I found another one on the FM base website. I just like to check that every once in a while, usually at the beginning of seasons for sure, and just to see kind of what other things people have thought of. This is literally basically the same thing. It's just another, I don't know, you can call it a 4-3-3 or a 4-1-2-1-2, but it's a diamond formation here. This one's actually called Diamond Destroyer by someone by the name of Will1981, which I think I've used one of his tactics before. And really very similar. The only difference is our 2 central midfielders take more specialized roles. We'll see if that helps us out a little bit. And then I think our sweeper keeper pushes up just as a supporting as opposed to defensive. But otherwise, just slight changes in the instructions, but not much. It's not much of a change, really. The big change is probably these 2 guys here in the middle. I'm okay with letting see what Gravenberch can do if he can roam around a little bit, or Carrasco, however I want to swap those around. And then the box-to-box, he'll be moving up and down as well. So get a little bit more movement, maybe, than we would out of just flat central midfielders. But obviously, if we have any issues, we can always go back to this one. They're very, very similar. All right, and this is actually going to be the team for our first game, by the way, which we'll get into the next episode. We are going to play Baldwin ahead of Fati today, mostly because Baldwin came through training really, really well. He's on an 8.0 coming through training. Fati's, still on a 7.05, still 7+, but I want to see what Baldwin to do. I think he can. I think he's going to show up and do some good stuff for us. We'll see. If we need to, we can always drop Fati back in, but I'm not too worried about that. Other than that, the only other thing I'm going to bring up real quick is that I did some crazy stuff with the training that I've never done before. Usually I just let training automate. Now I'm actually, I've been watching some of Zealand's newest videos, as you guys know, because I have the Zealand pack. I do watch Zealand from time to time. So credit where credit is due. He's obviously done the research. He obviously knows what he's talking about. And he's done a lot of videos in the last week or so about training and the positives of doing training properly. Also things like how some of these match tactics, teamwork, attacking movement, things like that can give you like little buffs for the next match. Things like that. For example, if I go look at match tactics, you'll see, not match tactics, sorry. I think that's not one. Teamwork does, doesn't it? Yeah, upcoming match. It actually increases the teamwork and the pressing for the team for the upcoming match. It doesn't stick around permanently. It just lasts for the next match. Technically, it can last for 2 matches if they're close enough together. I think within a week of each other. Within a week of this training, I should say. So if we had a game over here, I think it would still count. But I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see what this does for us. I just realized Villarreal changed. I could have sworn this was on Sunday the last time I looked. So I'll mess with some of this training here in a little bit, but more or less, this is going to kind of what it looks like. It looks pretty heavy. It looks pretty full. There's not any real rest days, but the good thing about the way this training works is it's actually relatively light. 30 to, maybe 30 to 40% intensity overall, sometimes lower, for most of the days. The only day that's really heavy is like the 2 days right after a match, that second day after the match, after we've done all the recovery and stuff like that. We're pushing it a little bit harder, but most of the time it's actually not that hard. And supposedly this should help reduce injury risk a little bit, as well as give the guys the boost that we want, and continual training and stuff like that. So we'll see if that works. I assume he's done the research. He knows what he's talking about, and it does make sense to me. I actually didn't know there were these temporary buffs. So knowing that is actually a pretty cool deal, and something that I want to take and try to be a little more careful with and see if that gives us some better results going forward. Is that it? That might be it. I don't think there's much else for us to do. The first game up is against Real Madrid, so it's going to be a tough game right off the bat. And then we've got Tenerife, who... Were they even in here last season? I guess they were. For some reason, I don't remember them. They're one of those teams that I don't think about, I guess. They have been in the second division, not that long ago. But they're actually fairly well established in the first division right now, so good for them. But yeah, that's it. I'm hoping for a really, really good season, especially to make up for our disappointment in the Spanish stuff recently. Got to wait another 4 years for that funness. But if we can get everything done this season, I think it'll be fun to move on to either Italy or France and check another thing off the list. But anyway, that's it. Enough talking for today. It's probably gone way over what I went to, but let me know what you think about the team. Again, very, very minimal changes, but I don't think we needed much. We were so close last season. So I think we got some good changes. Let me know what you think about saving some money for the January transfer window. Is that smart, or would you rather just put it all out right now? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time as we start this season off. Thank you, and goodbye. I wanted to give a special shout out to the following channel members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.